Hello, welcome to Alumni Field with WCBN II's production of this softball game on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Michigan Wolverines are looking to finish the series sweep today after a very decisive win yesterday in a walk-off single. Back on the mound once again is Storako. She got the win yesterday coming in for relief with runners on base. She came on in and pitched 1.1 innings with only a single hit given up, looking to continue today against the Nittany Lions and earn their first sweep of the Big Ten regular season. Michigan's softball team has struggled a little bit this season so far, more so than many fans probably would have expected or hoped. But it looks like in the past couple of games they kind of got the team under control as they look to finish the season strong and continue Big Ten play. They got today's game against Penn State and then a handful of series ahead of the Big Ten tournament just across the state in East Lansing this year. Moments away from the first pitch. Storako's in the circle preparing for her relief or her start this afternoon. Beautiful day here in Ann Arbor at Alumni Field, 55 and sunny, and a huge crowd came on out. And here we go, wind up and the pitch. That is going to be a ball a little bit low. The crowd is getting loud here early in this one. Lots of young fans in attendance. Wind up in the pitch, ball two. Cassie Lindmark, the catcher, is up to the plate now for the Nittany Lions, batting an impressive .400 on the season, including 10 doubles and 6 home runs. Wind up and the pitch, and this is fouled off back into the backstop, going to be the first strike of the game. Penn State looking to avoid this sweep today. Wind up in the pitch. This one bounces and then hits the batter. She quickly shakes it off and trots on over to first base. Early error there from Storako. That skipped about 10 feet ahead of the plate and then hit Lindmark in the leg. Completely grazed it off and then went to first. So with no outs here, we got a base runner. Riser comes in a little bit high, and it's going to be ball one. Corners are playing in for the Wolverines. Middle infield playing back. Wind up and the pitch. This one's fouled back behind home plate. 1-1 count. Allie Kurland up at the plate, the senior for Penn State. Storako winds up and pitch. High ball, checks the swing. They say she went, and that'll be strike two. 1-2 count here early in the first inning. No outs and a runner on first base. And here's the windup and the pitch. Fouled off to stay alive right into the backstop. Kurland is the designated player today. Normally catches. Wind up and the pitch, and this one's high, going to even out the count at 2-2. Lindmark staying very close to first base here. Only one stolen base on the season. Wind up in the pitch, swing and a miss, and that'll be the first out of the game, and it's a strikeout for Storako. With that, Storako has broken 200 strikeouts on the season, and we're only halfway through. Even despite some struggles a couple weeks back, still looking good. Quickly coming up to the plate is Leone, the infielder for Penn State. First pitch is in for a ball a little bit high. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's going to be strike one. Once again, corners playing in and the middle playing a little bit back. Maybe looking to turn two, get the Wolverines out of the inning. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike two. That got the fans cheering. Decent group of fans came in from Happy Valley today, really supporting the Nittany Lions. 1-2 count, wind up in the pitch, fouled into the backstop. Get a catch by Carson, but ricocheted off the net, so it won't be a recorded out. Leone is batting .260 on the season. Only one home run and 2 doubles on 25 hits, so a lot of singles. Wind up in the pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Second K of the game, and it looks like Storako has found the zone. So with 2 outs now, we got Lexi Black stepping up to the plate, the right-hander. Batting .283 on the season. Storako wastes no time. Pitches in, it's a riser and a called ball a little bit high. All season, Storako has been very quick from the circle, especially compared to Bobian, who often looks over at her wrist or over at the dugout. Wind up in the pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. Lindmark took first base from the leadoff batter after getting hit in the shin, but she has done absolutely nothing so far, barely even stepping off. Wind up and the pitch, and this is going to be a high ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. After an early hit by pitch, Michigan is looking to get back in the groove. So far, it's all been Storako, 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. That one's high. Going to be 3-1. Lexi Black batting .283, but has a .336 OBP. Handful of walks this season, 10 already. And that'll be her 11th. A little bit high, and she'll take first base. Just to make sure, Carson appeals down to the first base umpire and clearly did not go, so that'll be 2 base runners on with 2 outs as Black takes first and Lindmark advances to second here. Storako only 36 strikeouts this season. Wind up in the pitch, strike one as Morrison steps in and Storako wastes no time. .121 and a third innings pitch for Storako this season, only 36 walks, so it's a rare sight. Pitch 2 is in and it's high, 1-1 count. Both of the base runners for Penn State not known for their eagerness to steal. Wind up in a pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2 from Storako. Carter with a low changeup. Morrison is quickly behind with 2 outs. Morrison only has 8 hits on the season. Wind up in the pitch. That's going to be strike 3 looking. 3 strikeouts already for Storako. There's going to be no runs, no hits. 2 runners left on base at the middle of the first inning. Storako quickly gets out of that jam. She is known to be. And coming up next inning, we got Burkhardt leading off for the Wolverines. Hard to state over the radio how beautiful of a day it is here in Ann Arbor. After a week of really poor weather, it's gotten actually quite nice today. We got a lot of fans, too, especially a lot of younger fans. It looks like some middle school softball teams came out for the game. And the outfield bleachers in right are almost entirely full. I'm curious to see if they publish the attendance numbers later in the game. And across the diamond, we have the men looking to finish a sweep of their own against Cal State Fullerton, coming in from out of state and out of conference. Had a huge win yesterday, 8-2. And I'm curious because all three games of both the Michigan series versus Penn State and the baseball series against Cal State, they had the same exact first pitch time. It was 4 p.m. on Friday, 2 p.m. yesterday, and then now 1 p.m. Wonder if that's intentional. I'm no business major, but I think it would make more sense to stagger them so fans could maybe hit both. But I guess it's cool to see the two games happening at the same time. Burkhardt steps into the plate. Wasting no time is Lingfelter. The Penn State pitcher has 69 2/3 of an innings pitched this season, 4.8 record. Pitches in, that's going to be another called strike. 0-2 count for Burkhardt early in this one. Batting a team high .434 this season, the senior, or grad student. Pardon me. Lined up and the pitch. This one's going to be fouled up down the third base line over the bleachers. Staying alive. Lingenfelter taking her time and pitches, and this one skips into home plate. Going to be a called ball. So 1-2 count now as Christina Burkhardt stays alive. It's the leadoff batter for the Wolverines. Wind up and the pitch. This one is hit into fair territory, drifting foul, however, and that'll be a foul ball. Looked like it might land for a hit at first, but quickly drifted foul down the left field line. Burkhardt continues to stay alive here for the sixth pitch of the at-bat. 1-2 count. Lingenfelter checks her wrist, looks over at the dugout, eyes in on the catcher, steps forward, throws, and this one is hit right to the shortstop. Marcotte is in the perfect position, barely even moves her feet, and that's out number one for the Wolverines. Looked like from the swing of the bat it might be able to hit up the middle, but drifted right into the glove. Marcotte, the shortstop. Sealer steps up to the plate. Batting 190 this season, the freshman. Not a ton of at-bats comparatively, only 58. First pitch is in, and it's low for ball one. Corners playing in. Pitch two. That's going to be a called ball inside, it appears. So an early hitter's count for Sealer. Seen her come into pinch hit quite a bit this season. 2-0 count. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a called strike, a little bit high, but in the zone. And with that, it becomes a 2-1 count for the second batter of the game for the Wolverines. Sealer back in the batter's box. Pitch, and this one is going to be low and inside for ball three. 3-1 count for the freshman outfielder, playing left in today's game. And the windup and the pitch. This one's going to be fouled off to make the count full. Sealer stays alive here. Has 11 hits on the season, including a home run and 3 doubles, so definitely has the potential for some power. Wind up and the pitch. And this is going to be called strike, sending Sealer back to the bench for the second out of the game. The catcher Carson steps up to the plate. Left-hander. Hannah Carson batting .287 coming into this game, including 3 home runs. Swings at the first pitch, sends it down the third base line, but has a bit much pop and it's out of play. Unable to make any play on it for Penn State. Michigan looking to get any base runners this inning. So far it's been two up, 2 down. Wind up and the pitch, that's a riser and right at the helmet level for a called ball. Lingenfelter takes her time between each pitch, looking at her wrist before gunning in at home plate. This one's a changeup for a called strike. Gonna make it 1-2 now. Carson quickly finds herself in the hole. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Hutchins looking down at the batter. Wind up and the pitch. This one is a dribbler right to the pitcher. Bobbles it for a moment, but picks it up as Lingenfelter flips it over to Black for the 3rd out of the inning. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base. At the end of the first inning, the score is 0-0. So neither team is able to get any runs in. And Starocco steps back into the circle for her 2nd inning of the game. Like to appreciate everyone spending their Sunday afternoon listening to WCBN II. Today's baseball game is on WCBN I. One of the downsides to having these games scheduled for the same time, we can't put both of them on our main channel. The first 2 games of this series for softball was on one. Thought we'd mix it up today. We also have a game on Tuesday. Softball, Michigan plays, I believe, Central Michigan coming up. Yep, the Chippewas at 4 p.m. on Tuesday the 12th. Tune in, WCBN will be covering that. And we're sending a broadcaster down to South Bend also on Tuesday to cover the baseball team. And fortunately, we won't be going to College Park next weekend for the series. It's a beautiful softball stadium they have down there. But we will return when the team comes back on the 22nd to face off against Ohio State. And with that, the team finishes warming up and Starocco returns back into the circle to pitch the 2nd inning here against Penn State. Coming up to the plate is Marcotti, this shortstop, who got the first out of the bottom of the first inning. She's batting .273, no home runs on the season. Does have 13 RBIs, however. Pitches in for a strike called. Gonna be an 0-1 count. Wind up and the pitch. This one's way high. Gonna be ball 1. As always, Michigan's bench is loud, cheering on their defenders. Here's the windup and the pitch. Strike 2 swinging, can't make contact. And it's going to be a 1-2 count now. As Starocco looks for her 4th strikeout of the game already. Wind up and the pitch. It's going to be a little bit outside for the fastball. Going to even up the count at 2-2. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss, strike 3. 4th strikeout already for Sirocco. She is dealing so far against the Nittany Lions. They're doing a thing called Sunday Bingo up on the scoreboard at Alumni. And so far, if you've had strikeouts, you've been pretty good so far. Not much for anything else. Next up, Finnegan steps up, the utility player. Today she's playing left field. Pitch 1 is in for an outside ball to the right-hander. Penn State is in their gray pinstripes today. Wind up and the pitch. It's going to be ball 2 from Sirocco. Sirocco already has one walk in today's game, which is a little bit abnormal for her. Only 36 on the season. And that's going to be a called strike. 2-1 count down low, and Finnegan just stared at it. Didn't even flinch the bat off her shoulder. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 2nd inning. Wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss, going for the fences. That changeup got her looking. It's evened up at 2 here in the top of the 2nd inning. Wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 5th straight strikeout for Sirocco. Already she's having a career day. Sirocco is Big Ten Pitcher of the Year last year. Had a little bit of struggles earlier in the season, but got back under control, has a 17-4 record, looking to add an 18th win today. Quickly coming in is Coombs. Melody Coombs, she is the right fielder. She swings at that first one for strike 1. Pitch 2 is in a little bit outside, doesn't get the nod from the home plate umpire. And that's going to make the count 1-1 with 2 outs here. Steps forward and throws, swing and a miss on that changeup. Got her completely baffled. Nothing she could do there. It almost skipped in the dirt how much it moved. With that, it'll be a 1-2 count here with 2 outs. Sirocco trying to finish the inning strong. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Right down the middle fastball. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. Sirocco has 6 in the middle of the 3rd. Or middle of the 2nd, pardon me. Every out this game for Penn State has been a strikeout. Unable to put anything in play. The only 2 base runners, it's been from Sirocco too. It's been a hit batter and a walk. So Michigan's defenders getting a little bit of a day off so far. Fans continue to come into Alumni Field. Normally we see the first base bleachers as the most full because it's undercover. But today it's such a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. It's like the emptiest part of the stadium. And the outfield bleachers actually the most busy. Lingenfelter comes on out for the 2nd inning after getting 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 1st. Michigan this season struggled a little bit during Big Ten play. They're 4-4 on the season in the Big Ten, which is awfully lower than they are used to at 500. Nebraska currently leading the conference with 6-0, followed by Northwestern. So it's not a surprise that Michigan has not done too well because those have been their 2 opponents at the top of the Big Ten. But they're looking to continue their streak of 3 straight Big Ten titles. Gonna need an end-of-season turnaround, plus some help for that to happen, however. First pitch into Livingston is fouled off into the backstop. Strike one. Here in the bottom of the second inning. 0-0. Wind up and the pitch. This one's high for a called ball. Just a tad above the letters. It's going to not get the nod from the home plate umpire. Tarina Comfort umpiring from behind the catcher. Wind up and the pitch. This one is put into play. Diving for it is McCurdy and can't get to it, and that's the first hit of the game for the Wolverines from Livingston. A little bit of a bloop hit above the outreach arms of the third baseman, and the diving McCurdy. Livingston goes in safely to first base.
Now batting for Michigan, number 13, Taylor Bump.
Taylor Bump comes up to the plate. She has 11 RBIs. Only 2 home runs and batting .221. So we get a quick pitch here. This one's fouled off into the first base dugout. Unable to corral it is the first baseman Black, so Bump will stay alive for now. Livingston has yet to attempt a stolen base this season from first. So wind up. And the pitch going to be a ball down low. Slight change. Going to even up the count at 1-1 for Bump. Bump's the fifth-year senior. This one's fouled off into the netting. 1-2 count now. Bump's playing third base. She has been known to play first base as well, but mainly plays third base this season. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the crowd is getting loud here, showing some support for Bump. Wind up, and the pitch, this one's low and skips into the catcher, gets away from her. Livingston will go to second. Curious to see how that one's called, whether it'll be the first stolen base of the season for Livingston. Don't believe so. If anything, I'd say it's a wild pitch if I were the scorer. And yes, that is a wild pitch. So Livingston has yet to have a stolen base attempt this season still. She goes to second and in scoring position for Bump with 11 RBIs. This one is fouled back into the backstop, staying alive, 2-2 count. Michigan has gotten the pinch count up pretty high, even though the first inning was 3 up, 3 down. Already has 22 pitches for Lingenfelter. Lined up and the pitch. This one's high, but fouled off once again. Bump will not go down without a fight on that riser, sends it beyond the backstop. Infield's playing pretty far back, both the middle and the corners today. Livingston second, stand mostly glued to the bag. Pitch, and that's going to be a ball. Looked awfully close, but a little bit outside. Making the count full now for Taylor Bump. And this extended at bat really working for whatever's going to come of it. Checking her wrist as Lingenfelter steps forward, pitches. This one's fouled down the first base line into foul territory. Can she hang on to it? She cannot. And let's see if it's an out. I believe it was a called out, but coming in is Livingston. So tagging up and coming from second. That is an awfully interesting play because she bobbled it, and I was unsure if she hung on, but they say she did. And assuming that holds, it will be an RBI sac fly in fair territory. In foul territory. And assuming that holds, Michigan takes a 1-0 lead. Got the manager for Penn State speaking with the home plate umpire. I'm curious if they're going to review that. I guess not, as we have Bump returning to the dugout. Esmond comes on up with bases cleared now. Livingston came on home on that sac fly. Wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. From my view up here, it looked like it may have hit the fence because she bobbled it a bit and that would have made it dead. But they're saying it didn't and she hung on to it for the out, but Michigan got the tag up from second, which is impressive, and heads up base running from Livingston to give them the 1-0 lead. And they're gonna say she advanced to third on the tag up and then scored on a throwing error. So it's gonna be an unearned run for Lingenfelter. Pitches in, this one's slapped down the third base line and lands foul. 1-2 count here for Esmond. Esmond has 20 RBIs this season. Third most on the team, behind Burkhardt and Carson. One out here at Alumni Field. This one is fouled off again. Michigan bringing the all the plate appearances up to a lot of counts, a lot of pitches. Not going away easy. Already at 30 pitches for Lingenfelter, with one out recorded in the bottom of the second. Wind up and the pitch. This one's fouled off once again. Feel like a broken record. Down the third base line into the netting. Esmond continues to battle. Only one ball, but 2 strikes. His 2 strikes had about 4 or 5 foul balls now. Bumps last at one had 4 foul balls too. Stepping forward, pitching high, and that's going to be a foul tip into the backstop once again. Esmond continuing to find the ball here. Catcher Lindmark is going to step on out and speak to the pitcher, going into the circle. Quickly wrapping it up. As we had the home plate umpire speaking to Hutchins. I guess a player was too far out of the dugout beyond regulation, so told her to get back in. Step forward, change up, and this one's fouled back once again. I'm losing track of how many foul balls this has been, but it feels like it's only one ball and it's already been almost 8 or 9 pitches on this at bat alone. 1-2 count. Looking down at the wrist is Lingenfelter. Can't put it away quite yet. Here's a pitch. Strike 3 called. And she trots back to the dugout for the second out of the inning. We got LeClaire coming up, the junior, batting .308 this season. The right fielder in this game. 1 hit already in the inning, and that was scored for a run, but no one on base now. Pitches in, it's a riser right at the helmet level for a called ball. As a left-hander, LeClaire is able to take a couple of steps on the windup. Corners playing in, center playing in too. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be a called strike, 1-1. Lingenfelter, 1 hit and 1 run, but it wasn't earned. Has 2 strikeouts today and an inning and 2/3. So we have a 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Step forward and the pitch. That one's going to be a little bit high for ball 2. Two-one count here for LeClaire. Looking to get something going with 2 outs here. Both the infield and the outfield playing pretty far in. Only about 5 steps from the lip, it looks like. Pitches in, and this one's low and away for ball 3. LeClaire looking for Michigan's first walk of the game. Lingenfelter's been pretty accurate today. has a whip of only 1.32. Here's a pitch right back to the pitcher. Flips it over to Black for out number 3. And that'll do it for the second inning. 1 hit, 1 run, no runners left on base, and no errors for I guess 1 error on the throw for Penn State. And Michigan takes a 1-0 lead as they go into the third inning. Sirocco, the first one out of the dugout, having a career day so far as she puts on her mask. Top of the third inning, we're gonna have the 9-hitter and then the top of the order for Penn State. Gonna take a quick look at the baseball score, see how they're doing in today's game across the diamond. For those interested, that's on WCBN I today, and you could listen into Owen Crane broadcasting that one. The game is tied in the top of the 4th, so this has been a quick one for Michigan baseball. Started at the same time as the softball game. We're just going into the top of the 3rd, and they're already in the 4th, and they have 2 runs scored in addition. Keep you updated on that as the game progresses. Still 42 seconds left to warm up, but it looks like Sirocco's ready. On such a nice day like today, I guess you don't even really need to warm up that much. Sirocco's ERA at 1.43 right now. WHIP is at 8.52. Crothamel steps up to the plate for Penn State. There's a windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1. And that's going to be a 0-1 count here as Sirocco, for those just tuning in, is having a career day. 6 strikeouts already. Pitch 2 is in, and that's going to be a ball. Looked like the batter may have checked, but no call there from the first base umpire. So it's going to be a 1-1 count. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Baffled by that changeup. Sirocco is known for her quick work. She steps back and throw. Let's see, is that the call? Just inside. Looked pretty good to me. But it's going to be ball 2 as it's evened up at a 2-2 count here in the top of the 3rd inning. Michigan leads 1-0. Wind up and the pitch. Let's see, did she go? She did not. Checking down to the first base umpire. Full count here. Already 1 walk in today's game, a little bit abnormal for Sirocco. Not a ton of them on the season. On averaging only 1 walk per 3 innings pitched. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 7th K of the day for Sirocco. That fastball just went right by the batter. All 7 outs so far have been at the hands of Sirocco's pitching. And all 2 base runners have also been at the hands of Sirocco's pitching. The defense is getting quite an easy game so far. We got Lindmark stepping in for the 2nd time. She was hit as the leadoff batter, batting .400 on the season. Pitch 1 is in for a called ball. No wind today. The flag in center field is just completely limp. Wind up and the pitch. That one's going to be ball 2, high and outside. Lindmark batting, highest batting average on the team for the Nittany Lions. The junior catcher in today's game. Pitch, and this one's a changeup, and it's going to be high for ball 3. So 3-0 count to Lindmark. Sirocco trying to avoid her 2nd walk of the game. Wind up and the pitch. That one's going to be a called strike right down the middle, fastball. 3-1 count. The bat has not left the shoulder yet for Cassie Lindmark during this at-bat. And I don't believe it left her shoulder in the first at-bat either when she was hit. Pitch, and we got a riser, and it's high for ball 4, going down to first base for the second walk of the day. So Lindmark has yet to record an at-bat with the hit by pitch and then now the walk, but has reached base twice. Only one stolen base attempt, and it was successful this season. Kirtland steps up to the plate. Strike one right down the middle. Storako keeps this game moving right along. Doesn't waste too much time in between pitches or in between batters getting composed. She likes controlling the pace. Corners playing in. Wind up and the pitch. This is going to be a called strike 2. Change up right down the middle. I'm sure Kirtland would have loved to have that one back, as quickly falls in an 0-2 deficit. Here we go for pitch. This one is hit down to the first baseline rather, and that is a 2-run shot. Michigan quickly surrenders the lead. First ball put in play of the game is a home run for Kirtland, and now Penn State leads 2-1. The whole infield comes in to reassure Storako. Penn State's first sign of life of the game is a 2-run blast into the right field bleachers. Top of the third inning now, 1 out here. Leone steps up to the plate as an out, strikeout earlier. Pitch 1 is low for a ball. That got the Penn State fans in attendance on their feet after that home run. Got a changeup outside for a swing and a miss. A beautiful shot, too, from Kirtland. It was still rising as it went into the bleachers. Just a complete line drive laser. This one is fouled off right into the Michigan dugout for strike 2. That shoots Storako's ERA quite up a bit because both of those runs were earned on the walk and then the hit for the home run. Wind up at a pitch, strike 3. She'll go back to the dugout. 8th strikeout of the day for Storako. Despite surrendering that run, she shakes it off and returns back to sending Penn State back to the dugout. We got Black stepping up to the plate, the first baseman, before coming to the batter's box, talking to the third base coach. As I have a feeling that has been the case for much of the season, this game will come down to whether Michigan's offense can provide run support for Storako. Lexi Black finally finishes the conference with the third base coach, steps into the plate. Storako rocks back and throws. This one's fouled into the backstop. Strike 1. Black had a walk in the first inning, but stranded on first base. Speaking of home runs, I could see Fullerton's player trotting around the diamond, so they must have hit one for baseball on the other side of the field. We'll update you on that score after the inning. Pitch 2 is in for a called ball, low and outside, 1-1 count. Here's a pitch now, swing and a miss, strike 2. Going for the fences is Lexi Black. Has 7 home runs on the season, but unable to connect on that. Storako rocks back and throws. Let's see, strike 3 called. Storako, 2 runs, 1 hit, no runners left on base as Storako strikes out 3 more, has 9 Ks in this inning despite giving up 2 runs, and at the moment being the pitcher of record for the loss if Michigan is unable to provide any run support. So 1 errant pitch is all Penn State needs to take the lead in this one, despite beyond that having 0 answer for the Wolverines and for Storako, really. Lingenfelter comes out for inning 3. So we go into the bottom. Gonna have Kirsten and then Weidra, and then the top of the order with Burkhart coming up to the plate. Appreciate all the listeners tuning in on their Sunday afternoon. I think I speak for everyone that I wish you guys could be in attendance. It's such a beautiful day for softball. As promised, I'm pulling up the Michigan-Cal State Fullerton score. It is now 5-1 in the middle of the 4th. So Cal State Fullerton makes the most. It was a 2-run home run that I just observed. Michigan looking for the sweep there, but they're in the hole now. With that, Kirsten's going to step up to the plate. Wind up, and the pitch. Called strike, checks her swing, but it's right down the middle. Kirsten's batting .279 with 5 home runs this season. And that's on 19 hits. Wind up, and the pitch. Strike 2, inside, but just barely finds the zone. Lingenfelter is now on pace for the win if this result holds, thanks to the offense of her teammate. Wind up, and the pitch. This one is a called ball down low for the changeup. One-two count for Kirsten. Try to make something happen as the team is now down by 1. Fastball down the middle, swinging for the fences, can't connect. Going back to the dugout. And that'll be the 3rd K of the game for Lingenfelter for Penn State. Lingenfelter does have 44 pitches already through 2 1/3. Weidra comes up. It's a .305 batting average. As the first pitch is down low for a changeup, going to be a called ball. The freshman batting lefty. There's a throw. That one's going to be another ball, pretty much exactly the same spot, but this one was a fastball. A little bit more speed on it. Going to be a 2-0 count. So Weidra looks to get on base for the first time this inning. Michigan's only had 1 base runner and was able to score them on a sacrifice fly. Fastball down the middle, swing and a miss. Going to be strike 1. Checking her wrist as Lingenfelter rocks back, throws, and this one's put into play. Hit high and deep into center field, over the fence, and that game will be tied as Weidra has her first home run of the season and will come on home as the 9-hitter, tying this one up at 2 apiece. And that gets the Michigan faithful on their feet and loud as the fight song plays. And that one keeps rising. It looked like maybe Penn State would get under it on the warning track, but it kept on going. No wind in this one, so that probably helped. So with that, it's tied at 2 apiece here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And that saves Storako, at least for now, from getting the loss. Top of the order, Burkhardt's up. This first pitch is hit and into the mitt of a running Finnegan right down the third base line, getting under it. That's going to be a quick second out. So we got Sealer up to the plate. Burkhardt had a line out to the shortstop in her first at bat, so puts it in play both times. But now Sealer comes on up. She had a strikeout looking in the first inning. This one's lined down the third base line, drifts foul, so it's going to be strike one. Corners playing in with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Checking the wrist, Lingenfelter, pitch. That one's low and it skips on in. Lingenfelter's ERA was just barely under 4 before that home run. First earned run of the game today, because the first run was a throwing error is what the scorebook had. Next pitch, pretty much identical, skips right in at pretty much the exact same spot. It's going to be a 2-1 count here for Sealer with 2 outs. Two balls, 1 strike. As we got the catcher having a little bit of a conference with the pitcher now. Lingenfelter just trying to get under control. Curious to see how far Storako goes this season, or this game rather. Pitches in, changeup down the middle, fouled back down the third base line beyond the grandstands. Lingenfelter checking the wrist once again, steps back, throws, and this one's high to make it a full count. Sealer batting 186 right now. It's the lowest of the Michigan starters today, only one in the 100s. 3-2 count, here's the pitch. A little bit inside, she'll take first base. Michigan gets a 2-out base runner as Carson comes on up. Michigan only has 2 hits this game, but both of them scored. One on that sac fly and the other on the home run. Hannah Carson comes on in. Had a ground out right to the pitcher to close out the first inning. 2 outs. Now this one is shot deep into outfield. Getting under it and running is Krothammer, and that'll be the 3rd out. Looked like it might find some real estate, but she had some legs and got under it in center field. And able to finish that one. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, and no errors. As we go to the top of the 4th inning, as it's tied once again, we got Storako, gave up 2 runs already, but 9 strikeouts in 3 innings pitched. Storako is dealing. The game is tied now, so Storako is off the hook for the loss. She won't get a decision without any run support or if she gives up any runs. Morrison, the 5-hitter, is going to lead off for the Nittany Lions. Had what else than a strikeout looking. I feel like I could say that for majority of the players on Penn State. The whole infield comes in as she finishes up her warm-up pitches, gets ready to go, keeping the game moving. Stepping in now is Morrison into the right-handed batter's box. Checking her wrist for one moment. Looking at the catcher, stepping forward and throwing a fastball, but low. Ball one for Morrison. Rocks back and throws. This one's fouled into the backstop for strike one. It's a 1-1 count now. Here in this beautiful day, it feels like as the day goes on, it just gets nicer and nicer. See some people in the distance running on Ferry Field. Might have to join them later this afternoon after the game. Sirocco has a changeup a little bit high for a swing and a miss from Morrison. 1-2 count. I love that Michigan's defense hasn't done anything so far. All base runners have been on either hit by pitch or a walk. The run has been a home run. Change up, outside, swing and a miss, strike three. 10th K of the game for the 10th out. Yeah, I feel the defense must be loving this. Marcotti comes on up. Had a strikeout in the second inning. Changeup almost hits the plate, but got McCarty looking. And it's going to be a called strike as she can't connect. Wind up and the pitch. That's a riser for a ball. 1-1 count now. Cody, the sophomore, this game playing center field, made a diving, or not diving, but a lunging play to get the third out of last inning. Stayed on her feet. Change up, and this one's a little bit outside for ball two. Rocks back, throws. This is going to be a ball a little bit high, 3-1 count. Two walks already surrendered by Sirocco this game, but has 10 strikeouts, so it's all on her arm so far. And this one's going to be ball four, a riser that comes in high. Third walk of the game. We got Finnegan stepping up. She had a strikeout in the second inning. Cody has 2 stolen base attempts, caught once and was safe once. Wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. Fastball right down the middle. Curious to see if Penn State tries to do anything with their base runners, maybe manufacture runs. Because outside of that one home run, hasn't been able to get anything by Sirocco. Here's a bunt. And it's going to be a quick throw down to first base for the out, advancing the runner. So that's the first ball in play of the game. And it's a bunt. It's just a chipper down the first base line. We had the home run, so I guess that's technically in play, but it didn't land in the diamond, I suppose. So that'll be the second out as Coombs comes to the plate. And the first out of the game that wasn't a strikeout. Go figure. Wasting no time, got a fastball down the middle, strike one. Coombs checked it, but it was a called strike anyway. Oh, 1 count with 2 outs here and a runner on second. Squares up for a bunt, and that one is very high and goes into the grandstands, and a fan catches it on the fly to the applause of the fans here. Flags down the usher to return the ball. Going to be 0-2 now. Sirocco looking for the 11th strikeout. Wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Sits her down. There we go, no hits, no runs, 1 runner left on base. Sirocco adds 2 more strikeouts in the top of the 4th. Unable to get the perfect 21 strikeouts now after that bunt. But I feel like that should be a compliment. If your opponent has to bunt just to get it in play, you're a pretty solid pitcher. Appreciate everyone coming and listening to WCBN II. Today's game is on WCBN II today because of the baseball game, which is happening right across the diamond at the Fisher Stadium at the Wilpon Complex. Had the same exact first pitch, so fans had to choose. I think there's more softball fans than baseball fans. A couple of Little League came in for the softball game to spectate. No giveaways or anything today. They just came out to support their team, it looks like. Coming up to the plate for Michigan is Livingston. Had a single in the second inning and was eventually scored too, but it was on an error, so wasn't an earned run, I suppose. But that single was the first hit of the game for the Wolverines. Vanessa Oatley coming into pitch, number 30, is a 3.63 ERA. As the first pitch is low and away for ball one. The pitching stat for Lingenfelter, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits and 2 runs, only one of them earned, so a very solid outing. Did rack up quite a bit of pitches though, 56 in just 3 innings. I'm sure that might have been a consideration for Penn State's pitching decision. So we have it tied for Livingston, no outs and a 1-1 count. Rocks back and throws a fastball. It's a little bit low, 2-1. Livingston, the grad student, had a hit in the second inning, batting .429, leading the Wolverines this season. Wind up in the pitch, change up, dribbler right to shortstop. Marcotti scoops it up, throws to Black in time for out number 1. First batter faced by Oatley, successfully retired. Taylor Bump comes up to the plate. She was notorious earlier for having a close to 11 pitch at bat. I don't know why I said close to. She had an 11 pitch at bat and finally got the run in, even though it was an out, but it was in foul territory. First pitch is in and fouled down the third base line out of play. Continuing that, so she did not get the RBI, however, because the run scored on the error officially. She did advance the runner, but still counts as an at-bat for her as the next pitch is in for a called ball. Lots of fans cheering for Taylor Bump, a fan favorite here, the 5th-year senior. It's been a staple of the team. We get a changeup that's in for a called strike. Checking in at her wrist. Oatley throws, and this one is hit foul. Trying to get under it, unable to grab it. A little bit of a miscommunication between the first baseman and the second baseman. Morrison reaches out. And we got Bump staying in the plate, living another day that could have easily sent her back to the dugout. One ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Swing, and this one is lined to the outfield, right to the right fielder. Coombs barely had to move and retires the second out of the inning. That was hardly hit, a laser. A little bit higher launch angle, that might have been gone. She had to back up, kind of backpedaling onto the warning track to retire. Esmond comes on up to the plate, had a strikeout looking in the second inning. First pitch is in, strike one for Esmond. Oatley yet to surrender a base runner. I guess only 2 batters faced, so it's not a ton to be bragging about. Second pitch is in. This is a called ball, 1-1 count now with 2 outs. This one is hit far and deep down the first base line, but foul. A split second later, that would have been a home run. But since it was foul, it'll make it strike 2 here for Esmond. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs as Oatley tries to get out of this batter. In this inning, strike 3. She goes down swinging, unable to connect. Second strikeout of the game for Esmond. And Oatley returns back to the dugout without giving up a single base runner in her first inning pitched. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base, and no errors at the end of the fourth, as who else than Storako coming back for a 5th inning outside of that one mistaken pitch that was sent over the right field fence. She has looked incredible today. As we go into the top of the 5th, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. This game is tied at 2. Let's take a look over at the baseball game from across the diamond in the Wilpon Complex, playing out of conference Cal State Fullerton. They're looking to avoid the sweep, but Michigan is back at it. They got bases loaded, 2 outs, and they're only down by 2 now, so it's 5-3. So a chance to take the lead here. I'll keep you updated later in the game. Would be huge for both Michigan baseball and softball if they're able to record the sweeps. Michigan softball playing against the Chippewas on Tuesday. We'll have that on WCBN. Then going to College Park for a 3-game series. Going across the state to Lansing a week from Tuesday, and then back to Alumni against rival Ohio State on April 22nd. We'll have those games for WCBN. Storako, she begins pitching before the allotted time is up. She doesn't even need all the warm-up time. She just wants to get this going. First pitch is in for a swing and a miss, strike 1. Second pitch is in, a little bit high, ball 1, 1-1 count to Crothammer. She's the number 9 hitter. Had a strikeout, go figure, in the 3rd inning. For those just tuning in, Storako has 11 strikeouts in the top of the 4th. So mental math, yes, all but one of the outs have been a strikeout. And that one out, it was a bunt. So not even a real hit, in my opinion, just trying to get it in play and avoid the strikeout. Ball is in, 2-1 count here. Storako rocks back, throws it, a little bit outside, ball 3. 3-1 count now. Storako looking at home as the batter steps on back out of the plate. That's going to be a little bit low. Ball 4, an uncharacteristic amount of walks today. That's the 4th strikeout, or what am I saying, 4th walk of the game. Which is relatively uncommon. She only has 39 walks on the season and 125 innings pitched. Wind up in the pitch right down the middle for a called strike. She's finding the zone to Lindmark, the top of the lineup. Lindmark had a hit by pitch in the 1st and then a walk in the 3rd, and she was eventually advanced on the home run. She does have 1 run today, and no official at-bats Second pitch, change up and fouled behind, quickly behind 0-2 for Lindman. Oh, 2 count, rocking back and throwing Sirocco. This one's lined to the shortstop, can't hang on to it. And that'll be, I'm curious if it's a base hit or an error. They say it's a hit. Second hit of the game for Penn State. And with no outs, 2 runners on. Shortstop Widra tried lunging for it, and it hit her glove. So oftentimes you'd see that be called an error, but just unable to reel it in. But would have been close even if she got it cleanly to recover and then gun it to first or second. Now base runners on first and second. And Krothammer is on second. She has 7 stolen base. It's only a 57% stolen base percentage, not exactly ideal. 1-0 count with 0 outs here to Kurland. Had a home run earlier, 2 RBIs. Pitches and change up, and it's fouled into the bleachers. 1-1 count. Sirocco, no outs here, trying to get out of the jam. Has 1 hit given up and 1 walk. I suppose that hit was the first actual hit in play, if you don't count the home run, and like the bunt too, which is kind of cheap if you ask me, but whatever gets the job done, I suppose. And the bunt was a thrown out, it just advanced the runner anyway. If a commenter asking what happened to Bobian yesterday, she got taken out in the first inning, had bases loaded. Wind up, and the pitch, that's a little bit high, 2-1 count. Had a pretty good relief performance from Durkowski, 5.1 innings pitch. Came in, no decision for her as Sirocco got credited with the win. Rocking back and throwing a changeup, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2-2 count for Kurland. 2 runners on, no outs here in the bottom of the, or top of the 5th rather. Rocking back, thrown, changeup, strike 3, she's out of there. Look at that, 12th strikeout of the day for Sirocco. Still keeping up that hot streak. All but 1 out today has been a strikeout. I guess she still could get that coveted 21K outing, but it would require some help for maybe a drop third strike or something, or extra innings, I suppose, too. Leone comes up, and Sirocco quickly deals. Ball 1 on a high changeup. Appreciate everyone spending their Sunday afternoon listening to WCBN Sports 2. Wind up and the pitch. That's a ball a little bit high and inside, it looks like. Here we got the pitching coach coming out to talk to Sirocco with the 2-0 count. I can't imagine they'll pull Sirocco this early. They usually like to ride her until the end if they can. But maybe just trying to talk about getting some control in. No one's warming up yet in the pen for the Wolverines either. Got someone warming up in the Nittany Lion pen. For those familiar with Alumni Field, it's a little bit tough to judge who is actually warming up because it's right behind the outfield fence and you could just see the tip of their cap or their visor. But someone is in the pen. And with that, the pitching coach comes back to the dugout, and Sirocco will return with a 2-0 count with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Wind up pitch. That's going to be a called strike changeup. Beautiful move. That gets the crowd going, too, with the 2-1 count. A lot of the younger fans on their feet. This one's fouled into the backstop on the first base line. Going to be strike number 2. 2-2 count with 2 runners on and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. In a 2-2 ball game, go figure. This one is right down to the third base line and caught it in the air as bump. So that's going to be out number 2. So not quite a strikeout for Sirocco, but gets the job done. 2 outs now as we have coming up to the plate, Black. Lexi Black had a walk in the first and a strikeout in the third. Pitch 1, fastball down the middle, swing and a miss for a strike. 0-1 count with 2 outs and 2 on now. Wind up and the pitch. That one's a fastball, but a little bit high, right at the shoulder level. Gonna be a ball. 1-1 count with 2 outs here. Sirocco taking a little bit of time between these pitches. A little bit abnormal for her. She rocks back and throws it. Change up outside and high. Ball 2. .280 batting average for Lexi Black. We got a fastball in for a strike. 2-2 count with 2 outs and 2 runners on. And the score is 2-2. A lot of deuces today, at least right now. There's a pitch, strike 3. She's out of there. Fastball right down the middle, and that has Sirocco fired up. She's yelling at her teammates, let's go. And with that, Sirocco brings in her 13th strikeout out of 15 outs total. So we had that line drive to bump, and then we had the bunt right down the middle, right by the catcher, and those are the only 2 outs that weren't strikeouts in this one. Sirocco's not eligible for a decision either way. Gonna need some help from Michigan's offense for that. 2 runs scored. So we go into the top of the 6th with LeClaire leading off. 6, 7, 8, 9 batters.
You got a bingo!
We go into the bottom of the 5th, rather. Sorry about that. So they were doing Sunday bingo cards, and it looks like they have a winner. If you had a lot of strikeouts on your bingo card, you're doing quite well, thanks to Sirocco. We got, it looks like a Little League softball team in the right field bleachers. A young fan has a sign that says, "Hutch is my hero," the winningest coach in all of collegiate softball, Carol Hutchins. Been an inspiration to Michigan fans for much longer than that young fan has been alive. Here we go, LeClaire steps in the bottom of the 5th. Swing, and it's popped up high, almost grabbing it as the third baseman can't hang on in foul territory. Got a little bit of a tidbit thanks to a fan in the YouTube chat, saying Michigan has beaten Penn State 42 times in a row. The last loss was in 2007. That is pure domination. There's some fans in attendance who have never been alive for a Michigan loss to Penn State. Wow, I did not even realize that. I knew Michigan had dominated Penn State for the past couple of seasons, but I didn't realize it went back that far. I'd like to thank everyone for spending their Sunday listening to WCBN II, as Oatley is still on the mound. We got is that a ball? Yes, it is. A little bit inside to LeClaire. 1-1 count here. Oatley coming in for 2nd inning pitch after the 3 up, 3 down 4th. Swing and a miss. That's going to be strike 2. Michigan's dugout on their feet and cheering and getting loud. Wind up and the pitch, a little bit high. As a lefty, LeClaire always has a little bit of step into her wind up. It's one of the interesting quirks of softball that's not present in baseball. Left-handers, you kind of get a little bit of a run-up. Wind up and the pitch. This is dribbled down the third base line. It's going to be close, and she's safe. Leone doesn't have enough pop on the throw to Black, and gunning it out is LeClaire. And you know what that might have been? That might have been the run-up. She had that extra step on the hit, and the dribbler just not enough. And that's going to be the third hit of the game for the Wolverines. First base runner against Vanessa Oatley. Sierra Kirsten comes on up, the power hitter for the Wolverines. 19 hits, including 5 home runs and 4 doubles. Tries laying down a bunt. Goes foul for strike 1. Game is tied at 2 apiece. Michigan looking to finish up the sweep here. And a loss here would be the first time since '07. Another bunt, and this one rolls foul just barely. Would have been close, too, if it stayed fair, because she got a great jump after the bunt. 0-2 count now for Kirsten. Penn State is tied with Michigan right now in the Big Ten. Both have a 4-4 record. Michigan looking to get ahead after this weekend. Swing and fouled into the backstop. Michigan had a very tough schedule so far. First series was opened up against Nebraska at home, and they got swept for the first time at home at Alumni Field in I don't know how long. And then they went on the road and only was able to take 1 against Northwestern. Nebraska and Northwestern are top 2 of the Big Ten. Got a wind up and a pitch, change up low and outside for ball 1, 1-2 count. Michigan could not have asked for a less favorable opening to Big Ten play. And the next week, they go to Maryland, who's currently 4th in the Big Ten. Staying alive now is Kirsten, fouls it off into the grandstands down the third base line. Going to be a 1-2 count here. 1 out with a runner on first base. Wind up and the pitch. This one is put high into left field, getting under Finnegan, and makes the out for out number 2 on the move. And coming up is Wedra. The scoreboard says 2 outs, but I could almost swear it's only 1 out here. And my website I'm using, the stat broadcast, says 1 out too, so I'm going to go with that. So 1 out and a runner on first base. Wedra had a home run at her first at-bat, 1 RBI obviously. First pitch is in for a ball, low. Wedra batting .317. That was her first home run of the season. It was an absolute rocket into center field. Deepest part of the ballpark, right by the 222 marker. Rocking back and thrown. This one is put high into deep left, and running under it is Coombs, deep right, sorry. And that's going to be the second out of the inning, and we got the leadoff. So yes, it was in fact only 1 out. Top of the order coming up, Burkhart, 0-2 on the day. Oatley gave up a hit to lead off this inning, but trying to get out of this without any more damage. Checking out her wrist now. Burkhart had the line out to shortstop and the fly out to left. First pitch is put high in the air, getting under it is Coombs, and that'll be out number 3 in right field. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base as we go into the top of the 6th inning, still tied at 2. Curious to see Yes, you will. First person out of the dugout. There we go. None other than Alex Storako. 13 strikeouts this inning, trying to keep Michigan's sweep hopes alive and win streak against Penn State. As we go into the top of the 6th. Let's take a look at the Fullerton, Michigan baseball game that's currently going on across the diamond at Wilpon. Fortunately, can't see the scoreboard, but I can pull it up online. It's 3-2, or 6-3, as Michigan is trailing Cal State. They had bases loaded. I guess they were unable to put up any runs last inning. It's the bottom of the 5th, so still plenty of time and only down by 3. Michigan baseball looking to get their first sweep since they played Dayton at the home opener this season. And Michigan softball also looking for their first sweep in a while. Trying to look back there for last time. They got a 2-game sweep against Kent State. The 3rd game was canceled, if you count that as technically a series sweep. But yeah, other than that, they haven't had a series sweep because the rest were just tournament play. So looking to maybe get that first one here against Penn State, team that they have dominated. With that, we got Morrison stepping up to face Storako. Steps back and throws a fastball. This is fouled back high behind the backstop. Top of the 6th inning, so 15 outs have been recorded by Michigan. 13 of them have been strikeouts. Absolute domination by Storako. 0-1 count here for Caitlin Morrison. Change up low, skips in the dirt for ball 1. Morrison batting .296. Rocks back, throws, and this one's fouled off, bringing the count up to 1-2 as Morrison stays alive here. One-two count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Wow. 14th strikeout of the evening, or afternoon rather, for Storako. She keeps this one going. Still tied at 2 apiece, however. So Michigan wants to win. They're going to need some help from the offense. Storako's doing pretty much everything she can. Marcotti comes on up. Had a walk in the 4th and a strikeout in the 2nd. Eventually stranded on second base in the 4th inning. First pitch in is high for ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Fastball down the middle. A little bit ahead of it. The right-hander, sophomore, playing shortstop in today's game. Rocks back and throws. This one is high. Ball 2. 2-1 count with 1 out here. The crowd is staying and continuing to trickle in a little bit. Hard to find even an open seat in the outfield bleachers. Storako throws a riser. That one's a little bit high. 3-1. Storako, the one thing about today's outing, she has 14 Ks, but also 4 walks, which isn't a ton, but it's a lot for her. She usually doesn't surrender a ton. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Full count now. Here's a pitch, strike 3, she's out of there. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Can't catch up to the heat of Storako. She goes back to the dugout. 2 up, 2 down in this inning so far, both on strikeouts, and that's 15 for the afternoon for Storako. Really thriving in this Michigan April weather. It's beautiful out as Finnegan comes up to the plate. 55 degrees and sunny, not a cloud in sight. Only thing resembling that is a plane passed over and there's a little bit of chemtrails, but that's about it. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike one for Finnegan. Next one comes in high for the changeup, 1-1 count. Michigan's defense has had it easy today, only 2 hits, and one of them was out of the park. And only 2 balls in play that were outs. This one's a changeup, swing and a miss, going for the fences for Finnegan. 1-2 count as Storraco's a pitch away from striking out the side and getting 16 on the day. Here's a pitch. Strike 3 called. She goes back to the dugout. 3 up, 3 down, striking out the side for Storraco. 16 on the day as we go into the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a career performance for Storraco. Continues to excel in this one. We got Mr. Brightside playing here at Alumni Field. We'd like to appreciate everyone for tuning in to WCBN II. WCBN I has a baseball game on, so you could listen to that if you want to mix it up in between innings. But we appreciate you listening. WCBN has a fun broadcast schedule coming your way. I'm looking forward to it. We got on Tuesday a doubleheader, baseball, softball. The baseball game is at 6:30 p.m. from South Bend as we send a crew there. And the softball game is here against the Chippewas at 4 p.m. We'll have a crew for that. Following that, next weekend, Michigan softball is out of town, so we won't be covering them from College Park. But Michigan baseball is playing in East Lansing, including the home of the Lugnuts. So we'll send a crew for that. And then I believe we'll be covering a men's lacrosse game as well against Rutgers on the 16th. Beyond that, our coverage is coming to the end because our hockey coverage unfortunately ended on Thursday. We're done with that. Back down to only softball, baseball, and lacrosse. Maybe an occasional water polo game if Michigan makes the tournament. New pitcher in on the circle for Partial for Penn State. 1.56 ERA, 13-6 record with 134 innings pitched. So one of the aces of this Nittany Lions team. Pitches in, called strike to Sealer. Oh-2 count now. Sealer has a strikeout looking and a walk. Wind up and the pitch. This one's fouled off. Partial has a ton of speed to her pitch. Her windup is quite interesting. It's almost like she gets down to one knee to pitch it low and get some good movement. Bottom of the 6th, tied 2-2, 0-2 count. This one is sent over the leaping mitt of Marcotti, and that'll be a single, calling it a hit. Leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th. If Marcotti would have had a bigger cow to make that glove, she probably would have had it. Unable to reel it in. With that, Michigan capitalizes and gets its 4th hit of the game. Hannah Carson had a ground out to the pitcher and then a fly out to center field this game. Wind up in the pitch, lays down a bunt, looks over to second, but ultimately throws to first for the out. It was right to the pitcher. That's going to be 1 out, advancing the runner for Carson. Right now in this tie game, Michigan just trying to manufacture a run. Got someone in scoring position now. Livingston up to the plate. Had a single that was eventually scored in the 2nd inning, the first run. Then a ground out straight to the shortstop in the fourth. Fastball in, right down the middle, outside side of the plate. Gonna be 0-1 count here with 1 out. Runner on second is Sealer, only 3 stolen base attempts, but she's been successful all 3 times. Fouled off down the third base line, and it skips in. It's gonna be 2 strikes now. It's getting loud here. Fans are making their presence known, and the players too in the dugout. Rocking back for partial. Here's the pitch. That one's high. Too much zip to it. It's going to be a 1-2 count now with 1 out here, the bottom of the 6th. Michigan looking to manufacture a run and break open the stalemate right now. Fans are getting loud, and players too. This one is put high into right field, getting under its Coombs. And we got Sealer trying to advance to third. She'll be in safely. So another sacrifice hit with 2 outs now. We got the go-ahead run just 60 feet away from home plate. Bump is up. In the first inning, she wasn't credited with the RBI, but Livingston did score during her at-bat. First pitch is in, and it's pretty wild. Oh, looks like it's going to be an intentional walk. That is a bold move for Bump. Batting .215, but does have some power. 5th-year senior is a leader on this club. Bold move to intentionally walk with 2 outs. Third ball, and this 4th one will send her to first. This will be the first walk of the game for the Wolverines, though. It was fully intentional. There we go. 4 pitches, 4 walk as she takes first base. We got the go-ahead run on third. It looks like we might be in for a pitching change. The manager comes on out of the dugout. Michigan fans and players getting loud as they know just a couple, one ball in play away from taking the lead here, getting Sirocco potentially the complete game win if she's able to hang on in the top of the 7th. Crowd chanting, "Go Blue." We got Bump on first, Sealer on third. Curious if maybe they pinch run for Bump. Probably not, because she is not the go-ahead run or anything. But we'll have to see. Bump has 0 stolen base attempts. And yeah, they're going to send Bump back, so she'll stay on first. Here in the bottom of the 6th. I stand corrected. Right as I say that, they bring someone out to replace her. It's number 5, Kaylee Rodriguez. We've seen her pinch run quite a bit this season. Not only that, we got a pinch hitter too. We got number 2, Kiki Thole, coming up to the plate, the sophomore. So Rodriguez on first, and Kiki Thole batting up. So 2 pinch substitutions here as Michigan looks to break this one open and retake the lead for the first time since the 2nd inning. First pitch is in, low and outside, ball 1. Bailey remains in the circle. Rodriguez has 3 stolen bases on 5 attempts. It's only a 60% stolen base percentage. Can't imagine they risk it with 2 outs here. Another low pitch. This one's a called strike to Thole. Thole's batting 178, but 3 home runs this season. That's on 8 hits, so pretty good ranking. Over 30% of her at-bats have been home runs. Half of her at-bats have been extra base hits, too. Next pitch is in, that's a ball. 2-1 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Tie game, 2-2 apiece. Go ahead, run 60 feet away. Wind up in the pitch. That one's a little bit high. Gonna be a called strike, however, on that changeup. Gonna even it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 2 at the plate, Kiki Thole. Runner on first and third on the corners. Crowd is getting loud. Wind up in the pitch, fouled off into the backstop. We had Rodriguez running on the pitch too, with two balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Crowd continues to get loud, adding some energy here in Alumni Field. Rocks back, gets low, here's the pitch. This one's grounded right towards the second baseman, throws it over to first, and that'll do it for the 6th inning. We had 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Michigan's unable to score with the runner on third. Sirocco's gonna come out once again for the 7th. We might have another walk-off today, but Sirocco's gonna have to earn it first. Yesterday, Sirocco came in, got 1 1/3 innings pitched in relief. Only gave up 1 hit and ultimately earned the win. Brought her season record to 17-4. Had a streak of a couple of losses, some of them not even her fault. We came in from relief, but back in the groove now. For those just tuning in, Sirocco's having an unforgettable day. So she is through 6 innings now, so she's faced 18 batters, pardon me, 18 outs have been recorded. 16 strikeouts of those 18. So we got Coombs coming out. She has 2 strikeouts. No surprise when Penn State is 16 in this game. Fans are staying out here on this beautiful afternoon. Appreciate you tuning into WCBN II for this production of Michigan softball. So we got Sirocco preparing to get her 7th frame of the day. Wind up pitch, this one's high, getting under its bump, and that is out number 1. Squared up for the bunt and just couldn't bring it down. A lot of hang time. That was Swedberg pinch hitting. We got Crothammer coming up. She had a strikeout in the 3rd and a walk in the 5th. Wind up pitch. That looked good, and it's a called strike. A little bit of a delay from the home plate umpire, Trina Comerford. Ultimately called a strike, so 0-1 count here for Maddock. Maddock is also pinch hitting, so took some time for the scoreboard to adjust. I was a little bit confused there. Maddock's batting .267 this season. Wind up in the pitch, 1-1, dribbled down the first base line, scooping it up as Essman tags the bag. That's out number 2. So Sirocco unable to match her strikeout production from earlier in the game, but she's getting players out. And with that, her ERA gets under 1.5. It's now 1.49. Lindmark is up. She had a hit by pitch in the 1st, a walk in the 3rd, and a single in the 3rd. First pitch is in for a ball, 1-0 count. Lindmark's batting .405 this season. Next pitch in, called strike on the changeup, 1-1 count. Looking down at the wrist, taking her time, rocking back, and here's the throw. Riser a little bit high, 2-1 count now. Yesterday, Michigan had to get a walk-off single. If all goes according to plan for Coach Hutchins, they get a similar situation today. Sirocco pitch, 1-2. This one is hit high and deep into right field at the wall. Catching it, can she hang on? No, she cannot. That's a home run. Wow. Awfully close to robbing that, and that's a go-ahead home run in the top of the 7th inning. LeClaire lunges for it, and it looks like she strains her arm on the outfield fence. It's the exact opposite of what Michigan wanted. They trail now by 1 run, gonna have a deficit in the bottom of the 7th. LeClaire back to her feet. We got Coach Hutchins coming on out. See if they're gonna make a substitution or not. Keep her out there. So that's only the 3rd hit of the game against Sirocco. That has been a problem. Sirocco does have some heat. So when players make contact, it tends to go pretty far. 2 of the 3 hits have been home runs this game. Michigan offense just unable to put up any run support. So here we go. Sirocco continuing to stay on in. She's now on pace for the loss if Michigan can't provide any assistance. So wind up, swing and a miss, strike 1. Got Kurland up. Had a home run of herself in the 3rd inning, and then 2 other strikeouts. So pitch, fouled off, gonna be strike 2 with 2 outs here. Feels like that took the wind out of the sails of many Michigan fans. Small contingent of fans who came from Happy Valley are on their feet and making some noise. They're on pace for the win here. Let's see, strike 3, and she's out of there. Pitch is low, swings, and she's out. Throws over to first base for good measure because I think it hit the dirt barely. But that'll do it. 17 Ks for Sirocco. If Michigan cannot provide some run support, they are done and will lose to Penn State for the first time since 2007. Playing the Pump It Up song, that gets Michigan fans cheering and out loud. Partial comes out, and she's now on pace for the win, as a 13-6 season record. If Michigan is unable to do anything here, that would be it. 3 outs left unless Michigan's able to put at least 1 run on the board. Trailing 3-2 after that home run in the top of the 7th. Let's go take a look over at the men's baseball game across the diamond. Still playing Cal State Fullerton. It's a 2-run ball game, bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out. Michigan trailing 7-5. You can tune into live coverage of that on WCBN I with, I believe it is Owen Crane on the call. One of our best up-and-coming broadcasters for WCBN. LeClaire steps on up to the plate. First pitch, it's going to be a called strike inside corner. 0-1 count for Audrey LeClaire. She's 1 for 2 this game. Batting .315, she has a single and a ground out to the pitcher. Looking to make something happen here. This one's hit hard almost at Coach Hutchins in the third base box. Moves out of the way a step. That's going to be strike number 2 for LeClaire. Curious to see if Michigan gets any pinch hitters. So they're in the bottom half of their lineup now. 7, 8, 9. 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Fouled off into the backstop. She'll stay alive. Oh, 2 count here for LeClaire. Partial looks at her wrist, looking to get the strikeout here. And that's going to be a low ball just barely. Wow. I thought that would have been it, but she lives to fight another day. 1-2 count now. Partial has 1 innings pitch and 1 walk, no strikeouts. This one's put into play. Dribbler to second base, and that's going to be shipped over to the first baseman for out number 1. Michigan just 2 outs away from losing to Penn State for the first time in over a decade. Here, Kirsten comes up to the plate. Has a strikeout and a fly out to left in this game, 0 for 2. Interesting side note of this game, the winner will get an edge in the Big Ten standings. They're both tied currently at 4-4 in Big Ten conference play. Change up, and that had her baffled. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Oh, 1 count, 1 out here. Corner's playing in for Kirsten. That one's a bit high, got to even up the count at 1-1. Checking the wrist now. The pitcher on pace for a win, just 2 outs away. Got a check swing, did she go? Yes, she did, peeling to the third base ump. That's going to be the second strike here. 1-2 count. Partial just a pitch away from getting down to the final out of the game. Kirsten up at the plate, the designated player. Wind up in the pitch. It's going to be a little bit outside. Staying alive now, Sierra Kirsten. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Michigan trailing by 1. Looking to rally back. Getting low, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. She'll go back to the dugout. It's all on Weedra's shoulders. Has a home run this game, can she do it again? Hits the home plate with her bat a couple times. Cleans out the left-handed batter's box. And a Weedra home run in the 3rd. And a pop out to right. So that's some power. Wind up in the pitch. This one is fouled up in the air, getting under to first baseman, and that'll do it. Final here from Ann Arbor. The score is 3-2. Penn State avoids the sweep and gets their first win since 2007. Michigan unable to capitalize on 7 solid innings from Storako. Only provides 2 runs of offense. And that'll do it here from Ann Arbor. Michigan falls to 23-12. And 4-5 in the Big Ten compared to Penn State, which goes up to 23-15 and 5-4 in the Big Ten. First loss in several years against Penn State. Storako will be credited with the loss, and believe Purcell will get the dub. for the Wolverines, or for Penn State, rather. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports 2 on this Sunday afternoon for this edition of Collegiate Softball. Our next softball game is 4 p.m. on Tuesday against the Chippewas. Tune in to that here on WCBN. I believe it'll be on our main channel. Or later today, go on over to WCBN 1 right now, as we got Cal State Fullerton facing off against Michigan. Michigan brings it within 1. It is 7-6 with 1 out and 2 runners on base. So looking to get a sweep of their own, doing what Michigan softball was unable to achieve. Coach Hutchins is not too happy with the team after that one. But with that, that'll do it here from Ann Arbor. Thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports, and I wish you a good night and go blue.